Hey guys, I'm LT.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome to BHK Outdoors, your beacon for all things outdoors. So grab a cup of coffee.
Or chaga.
And for the next 30 minutes, let's get out there. If you have any questions or show ideas for Dan and I, you can email us at radio@bhkoutdoors.com. That is radio@bhkoutdoors.com. Hey, today's program is brought to you by BHK Outdoors. You can check it out at www.bhkoutdoors. Got some outdoor products that you might be interested in. So hopefully get an opportunity to check it out. We have a really good guest for you today, a personal friend of ours. He has a couple of stores. His name is Patrick Arneault, and he is from ORCA Outdoors. You can check their website at orcawv.com. That is orcawv.com. So we're going to get into talking with Patrick in just a minute and kind of introduce him to you guys, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. He's got some interesting stuff going on in his life. But first, before we get started, how's your morning been, Dan?
Oh, my morning's been awesome. I got to tour the new shop, and looks pretty good over here.
That's right. That's what I forgot to tell you. We are broadcasting live-ish from our brand new studio at 130B. That's the name of the new studio, as opposed to bedroom number 1.
Right, yeah.
So we're happy about that. Hey, how's the poison ivy?
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's growing.
It's working just like it's supposed to.
Yeah, itching like crazy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, how's the heat working for that?
The heat's working good, but the bees I got stung by this past weekend were horrible.
So you had a real good weekend.
Absolutely. Poison ivy and 11 bee stings.
Well, that's living.
That is living. I was living for a minute, I'll tell you.
I bet.
And I realized that tractors only go so fast backwards.
So they don't outrun bees in reverse?
No, not good.
Okay. Well, you learned your lesson, didn't you?
No. But every one of those bees died.
Did they?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, hey, we're going to get into talking with Patrick from ORCA. And good morning, Patrick. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. Hey, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, your what kind of got you on the path of ORCA? You know, where you've been, what you're doing now, and maybe some thoughts for the future.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Ohio, down around Marietta, and I've always been into the outdoors. I mean, that was just our lifestyle of hunting, fishing, and all things outdoors.
Right.
Went to college, joined the Army, and got into the outdoors a lot more than I expected to as an infantry guy. So kind of just further got ingrained into my blood. My two brothers, myself, and my dad were always members of the NWTF, and really enjoyed doing stuff with them and the banquets and, just being part of that. We were big turkey hunters. And those two passed, and we ended up here in the northern panhandle of West Virginia, Ted and I, and we just kind of wanted to always have an association of our own. So one night we were sitting there and having a few beers and came up with the Ohio River Catfish Association, called it ORCA, and just ran with it. And we did a lot of construction work, a lot of stuff in the casino industry, and kind of got sick of it and just wanted to do something for ourselves and fun in the outdoors. So we opened a store in New Cumberland, West Virginia, which is, features Rocky boots, blind horse knives, obviously, which has been a great deal for us. Carhartt clothing, I just say anything that supports an outdoor lifestyle, we sell. And also up in Lisbon, we did this, as you guys know, because you're kind of in the belt of it, the oil and gas industry's taken off here. So,
right.
So work clothes are a good seller for us. We, what makes us unique, I think, is that I'll deliver to any well location, any construction site. We deliver clothes.
Wow.
And we had one guy gave us a kind of a nice compliment the other day. He called us they used to call us a mini Bella, trying to be like Cabela's, and he told me I was more of a portabella because I was portable.
That's funny.
I'll tell you what, I think, like you said, taking your business to where the people are, because today's society, man, everyone is so busy. There's not a lot of time to go and do these things that we like to do, per se. And by being able to take some of your products out there and do it right in the field, I think that's a good service that is being overlooked, and it sounds like you're doing.
I think he should bring pizza too. He could call it Pizzas and Pants.
Yeah, you could get a whole gig going there. But I agree. Yeah, that sounds like a really neat way to do it, Patrick. Taking it right out to the guys.
Yeah, these poor guys are so busy, and a lot of times they're off. They work day tower or night tower, and they don't necessarily get time to go. So we've got a couple accounts where they can just give me a call, tell me what they want, and I've actually delivered a couple shirts off of my four-wheeler. So
that's service, buddy. Okay,
that's our guarantee. I don't care, wherever you're at, and if you're in one of our counties, I don't care if I have to parachute in. You're going to get what you need.
Okay, guys, you heard that. So if you need something from ORCA and you can't get to one of the stores, it sounds like you call Patrick, and he'll bring his four-wheeler and bring it right to you. I mean, what better customer service can you get than that? Jeez.
I want to see him parachute in.
Yeah, make sure you YouTube that one when you do your parachute.
I'm going to video it.
Yeah, that'll be great. Hey, I know you briefly said the name was the Ohio River Catfish Association. What brought that on? Why the name, and why the association with catfish and all that?
Well, we were on the Ohio River, and Ted and I both, and I think you and I talked about this briefly. I think the Ohio Valley, in my opinion, and I've hunted out west, I've hunted in Canada, I've hunted in Mexico. I don't think there's a better place around on the continents here to hunt and fish. I mean, where else can you step out of your back door and hunt white-tailed deer, which I think is probably one of the toughest bow hunts there is? Where else can you step out of your back door, hop onto what I think now is a very beautiful and cleaned-up river? Mm-hmm. And, we've got guys bringing to our tournaments 35, 45-pound catfish.
Wow.
I mean, it's
out of the river?
Out of the river. We had a little lady 2 tournaments ago. She probably weighed 105 pounds soaking wet with a 44-pound catfish.
No kidding.
Where else can you get stuff like that? And I mean, we just fell in love with the river. I grew up on the river down by Marietta, and I think it's just it's an undervalued resource that we have. I mean, granted, it used to be very industrialized, and all of us grew up in that, but I think people have done a great job cleaning it up. I think Ohio DNR, West Virginia DNR has done a great job kind of helping us get it cleaned up. And it's really now, I think, probably the best river in the United States to get on with your boat and go after something. And, hunting and fishing in our area, I think it's one of the top areas there are. I mean, granted, you're not going to go after elk here. You're probably not going to go after mountain lion here, but hey, we got the best whitetail hunting, I think, between here and Pomeroy, Ohio, you can find.
You don't need to tell me that, because you're going to have me right on your doorstep.
I was going to say, you're going to wake up one morning, he's going to have his tree stand on your deck.
Yeah.
Hey, he's more than welcome. We've got lots of acreage, and we're still waiting for a Team BHK to be in one of our tournaments here.
Oh, for the catfish stuff?
Yep.
You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I'm not opposed to it, as long as I can kill a whitetail in the process, too.
We're talking catfish.
I know.
You know anywhere I can get a boat?
Well, if you guys want, we'll get you on a boat. We'll get you some. Your friend Smokey's come out with a proprietary for ORCA catfish bait.
Oh.
This stuff will bring polar bears down from Alaska. You're not opening it in your car. We already had one guy make that mistake.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Man, that sounds great. So this catfish tournament, again, when you're not like in the loop of things, and catfishing, I'm not necessarily, I know a lot about it. Are there a lot of people that are really into catfishing?
Oh yeah, we've got some a lot of participants do it just for fun, to get on the river bank. We call them bankers. They'll fish from the bank, and they do very well. You don't have to have a boat by any means. 2 of our first place winners fished right behind my store here. Obviously, a boat gets you opened up to some other spots. we get a lot of participation. There's some very, very serious catfishermen here. The guy, Billy Orgman, who's won our past couple tournaments, is in talks with Cabela's about, and I don't know the specifics, but they're looking at sponsoring some pro catfishing stuff with him. So we get a lot of participants. Last night for our next tournament, we had a guy come in with his 2 young boys. It was great to see them. They bought their River Monster fishing pole set, and they're ready for our next tournament. So yeah, we get everybody. We get a lot of teenage kids that want to come and spend the night at the river. It was kind of how they grew up. We get a lot of families. We get the serious guys that are out there for what I call full contact fishing, and
wow,
we hit it all.
So is catfishing done at night, or is this done in the day? How you do this?
Our tournaments are from 7 o'clock at night until our weigh-ins are at 7 o'clock in the morning. Most of the catfishing is done at night. We have run a day tournament, which was successful, and we have a big festival tournament, I want to say late September, with the New Cumberland River Fest, where that's going to be just for youth, a day tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you piqued my interest a little bit, because
Absolutely.
I've never been catfishing, so I'd like to maybe try that, be one of the BHK Outdoor Adventure guys that comes down here and does that.
I think that's a great idea. Patrick, do your stores, since you're so into catfishing, could a guy come in there and basically get outfitted for these river tournaments that you guys put on?
Yeah, we have, and I think we've gotten them since you've been here. We sell fishing poles. We've got, our store is a fishing and bait store, but it's geared towards catfishing. We do have some bass stuff, and we have stuff that can put you on a pond and you can go after panfish, but we've got a proprietary leader and hook system here with a river weight that you can take right out in the Ohio and it won't drift. We've got a big variety of catfish-specific bait here, so yeah, you can get outfitted. One thing that's been really good for us is the minute we stock catfish poles, we sell them out.
That's
which
great.
Is very telling of the demand. So give me a call. Don't be surprised if you come in and we're out of poles, because it's really grown around here, this whole catfishing sport.
Yeah, this job is starting to suck for me, because it's like last time we was talking about nozzler bullets, and
Yeah.
I got to get all reloading equipment, and now I got to get catfish poles. Is there any end to this madness?
You're going to have to get a part-time job just to support your habits.
I know this is.
Dan, let me just add one thing. We've done it with a couple guys, and it's my favorite activity. I'd love to get you guys. You got to get in a kayak on the Ohio River and hook into a good 25, 30-pound catfish.
Yeah, right.
It's the most fun you're going to have with your clothes on.
And what is this sport called?
Especially when one of the river barges is coming.
Oh, good God.
I know.
Yeah.
I rode crew when I was in high school, and we rode the river, and you're right, when the barges come by, boy, it just sets a whole new tone to that water.
Yeah.
My. Hey, speaking of kayaks, I've been to Patrick's store in New Cumberland, and he has kayaks, and he also has canoes right there. Do you take orders on that stuff, or do you have?
Yeah, we're an old town for canoes. We sell old town canoes.
Okay.
We also sell Emotion kayaks, which there's several models. They've got just fun single seat models to pretty serious models outfitted just for fishing with GPS and pole ports and good storage stuff. So yeah, we can take orders, and we also have some on the floor.
That sounds great. Hey guys, just a reminder, we're speaking with Patrick Arneault of ORCA Outdoors, and you can check out his website at orcawv.com. Patrick, if they wanted to call you, what phone number, if they had questions or wanted to become a part of your tournaments, what is the best way to get a hold of you for information on that?
304-794-8960, and that's a 24-hour phone, so call anytime.
And then again, if you need to check stuff out, check them out at orcawv.com. That's orcawv.com. That sounds great. Patrick, other than the catfishing, and I know one of the things that really intrigued me when I was able to come to your store was that you carry Carhartt clothing. That is something I know you're talking about taking it to oil fields, but just having a place that has all of those different options, because I know that now they're coming out. They have a sportswear for women. I mean, they've really taken off.
Yeah, we're an authorized Carhartt dealer. We're very proud of that. We're one of, when we called Carhartt and told them we were going to open a mom and pop, they thought we were crazy because they haven't seen anyone do that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out with, I think, well, I grew up as, in this valley. You grow up in Carhartt probably, and hand-me-downs. The one disadvantage of Carhartt is they last 10 to 15 years.
Right.
But they have come out with the ladies love. We've got what we call fashion lady T-shirts here. We've got the ladies jeans. They're cut for ladies. Starting 1 August, we're excited. We're getting their new winter wear is going to be coming in. They've gone back to some of their old classics, the ranch coat. And I'm excited about that. What's funny about Carhartt, people don't realize, is they just opened up a boutique in Manhattan, New York, and one in London and Paris, because the Carhartt guy was telling me these people in Europe cannot get enough Carhartt clothing, and they wear it over there as a fashion.
Oh, it's a fashion statement overseas.
As a fashion statement where you and I wear it because it's comfortable and it'll last a long time and it's durable. Mm-hmm. But we're real excited about the new Carhartt stuff we've got coming. And it really is amazing, the variety. When people come into our store and they look through our catalog, the variety of clothes Carhartt has. And I stand by it. I think it's the best stuff there is.
I would wear it, I think, mainly because it helps with the multi-floral rose. Something that I got educated to when I moved here. That stuff sucks, and Carhartt works pretty good on that.
Yeah, definitely with those thorns and stuff in there. I agree completely. Hey, other than Carhartt, another one of your big products is Rocky Boots, I believe.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up in Southern Ohio. Growing up, it was kind of a tradition. Right around August, September, the old man would throw us in a van, and we would go to Nelsonville, Ohio, to the Rocky Boot outlet, and you'd get the boots that were in their outlet store.
Right.
And that was just we grew up in Rocky Boots. We've always loved them. When I was in the Army, towards the end, they just authorized what they called the Rocky Duty Boot. Got a pair of those. So I can honestly tell you, I've been in Rocky since I can remember. So we're an authorized Rocky dealer. They've come out what they call their HAM. It's the acronym stands for it's a hard mining boot. And they sell a lot of those to the oil and gas guys. We stock that. They stock some other type of heavy-duty boots now just for the Marcellus gas guys. And then they got, I think, just some great duty boots and hunting boots. And they've also gone to a really nice casual line, just for everyday hiking. Now, they've got one boot out that could compete with, like, the Asolos real easy.
I'm not. Mikey, you familiar with those? What are they?
Hiking boots.
Hiking boots, okay. Sounds good. Now, do you carry these products in both of the stores that you have right now?
Yeah, our Lisbon store is focused really on workwear and work boots. We've got Blind Horse knives up there. We're going to put some of Smokey's stuff up there, and it's in Lisbon. Our store in New Cumberland's a little bigger, so it's the store with kayaks and canoes and a little more stuff. We're looking at maybe putting a 3D range in the very back of it. The Lisbon store, though, can order anything. I mean, if you stop by our Lisbon store, there's nothing we can't get, Carhartt or Rocky.
Sounds good. Hey, speaking of Smokey, can you drop a bug in his ear to maybe get him on as a guest one day?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think he'd make a great guest. As a matter of fact, Dan and I have purchased snares, his coyote snares.
Oh, yeah.
So
those are pretty cool.
I'd like to talk to him.
His trapping line has done very well for us. I was surprised because I'm not a trapper. I didn't grow up. I mean, I grew up with guys that trapped, but it's not something I ever really endeavored to do. But I'm amazed at the popularity that has come back in trapping.
Yeah, that sounds real good. Hey, and just another reminder, we're speaking with Patrick Arneault from ORCA, and you can reach him at orcawv.com, and that stands for Ohio River Catfish Association. They have a lot of tournaments going on. He's a distributor or dealer in Rocky Boots and Carhartts, and just a genuinely nice guy, and we like to have him as a friend. And he also carries Blind Horse Knives, and if you guys get an opportunity, you can also call him at 304-794-8960 if you have any questions about the tournaments or any of his products.
Hey, I hate to interrupt, but I got to take a commercial break.
Why?
It's time for Ivy Dry. My arm's itching.
Well, you know.
There, that's better.
You know how to keep that from happening in the future. Anyway, hey Patrick, I know that you're a knife guy, and I know that you carry Blind Horse Knives, and we do appreciate that. How are you seeing like knives, and where do you look for the stores, plural, Lisbon and your New Cumberland store? What do you see for the future of what you're going to be adding to your product lines?
Well, it's as far as the clothing, I think we want to stay focused on Carhartt, Rocky, and outdoor gear. I'd love to get into some bow hunting stuff. We obviously we want to expand our variety of boots to where you can walk in and we can supply whatever you need, because that's turned out probably our biggest challenge is the variety of footwear and the variety of taste for the outdoor guys that we've got to answer. But what really prompted me to get in touch with you guys, and I may be straying from your question a little bit, is, I've always been into the outdoors, and I have a group of friends that are very much in the outdoors. This bushcrafting and kind of self-reliance trend that's taking place, it's not really a trend for us because we've always kind of lived that way, but it's a real trend around here,
right.
And people really have hooked into anything. I don't even use the word survival or survivalist anymore because it doesn't make sense to me, but self-reliance makes all the sense in the world, and that's what people do. And that's what people want to practice right now, and you guys have kind of built a motif around that, especially with your knives. And I mean, I'm not saying it's just because we're on the radio with you guys. You guys have an awesome product.
Thank you.
And if you're a guy that spends a lot of time with a knife in his hand, whether it's cleaning fish or cleaning a deer or dealing with whatever your wife asked you to do with the garbage can that day, it's a great product and it feels great, and they've been a great people come into our store to look at our Blind Horse Knives. It's almost as if it's an attraction for them just to stop by and say they saw them here. We've got the Self-Reliance magazine out with them, and we had people from the Pittsburgh, I meant to tell you guys, we had people from the Pittsburgh Culinary Institute stop by last night out of the blue. They were having dinner next door, and they were staring at your Lumberjack Pro and debating if that would be a good kitchen knife for where they're going to work at some place in Pittsburgh.
Why, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. I told those guys, give you a call. They can build anything. So if there's something I would like to expand to, I would love to get into more of the self-reliance type stuff that you guys have a niche for. The water.
Right.
We get a lot of questions. Do you have water purification systems here? I don't. I wish I did. Do you have different types of all kinds of self-reliance stuff, tents, hammocks? The one thing that did really well for us, that I'd love to do it again, is the seminar where you guys came by. We have a couple gentlemen stop by constantly. The one gentleman from the Boat Tech wanting to know when we're going to do that again.
Yeah.
And I knew we were on to something when about a week after you did the seminar, 4 or 5 of those guys came back in my store, and all they did was drink coffee and BS about their Blind Horse Knives.
Okay.
And that seminar, that's when I knew I was on to something.
Well, let's definitely set it up again. We would love to come again. I had a great time, too. It's always nice to talk to people, for sure. And you know what? I think you're exactly right with the movement in self-reliance and stuff like that. I think moving some of that product into your store. And again, being a mom and pop, you don't have to travel way down to Cabela's or to a mall or something like that. You're just a downtown guy. Your stores are located convenient. And like you said, you'll bring it to the job site or whatever. My gosh, what more could you ask for customer service there?
Well, you nailed it right on the head when you were talking about the movement of everybody being a little more self-reliant, and that's a very important thing. I think this recent storm that we had here in Ohio really brought it to the forefront with everybody, and everybody realized where they might have been lacking. And it was a good lesson for me, and I learned a lot from this last storm, and I've been preparing my property ever since, and before that with ways to be more self-reliant.
Yeah, one of the things from like you were talking about the water purification, boy, if people just think a water break in town and you get these boil alerts, if you had for example a Berkey system, which is something that I do have at home and my wife and I do use all the time, seeing you expand into that, boy, I think that'd be a great place for you to head, bud.
Well, it's our next step. I mean, if we're going to expand, it's into that direction.
Right.
A lot of people ask if we're going to become a gun shop. We're going to focus on what we call kind of that country, self-reliant lifestyle type of store, where if you're into that lifestyle and you stop by, we got what you need.
Well, you've already got some of the best boots and some of the best clothing in the world and a great line of knives. I mean, you're headed in the right direction. And again, talking to you and dealing with you has always been pleasant. So, having both stores, best of luck with those stores for sure.
Greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Heck yeah. Dan, do you have some other stuff you'd like to ask Patrick?
I just want to ask him real quick because, the only thing I know about catfishing is I've seen noodling on TV. Is that something you've ever done?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
Noodling, have you ever caught catfish with your bare hands?
You know what? We've had a lot of guys come here and threaten to go noodling, and I've seen the shows, and I understand noodling. I think it takes a different level of guy. Keep in mind, I went to Ranger School, I went to jump school, and was in the Army. I worked in the oil fields. I'm not going to go into the Ohio River and stick my foot or hand into some of these. I've seen the fish that come out of there. That's why I think I would love to see somebody noodle in the Ohio River, but I would highly suggest we got Life Flight close by.
Yeah,
that is really funny.
Yeah, so, it makes me wonder how big something could get in the Ohio River.
Oh, I know. I've heard stories of catfish that are huge. But the thing is, if they don't want to noodle, you've got everything right there. You're a one-stop shop. Get them set up and have them in a tournament that night.
And, it just gave me an idea. We would be more than happy to sponsor Dan if you wanted to come out and noodle. We'll get him on a boat. We'll get him. I'll get our Billy, our guy, to put him on some big catfish, and he is more than welcome to noodle away.
As soon as I find a spandex outfit that'll fit me, I'll do it.
So, hey, Patrick, just real quick, what was the biggest catfish that I guess has been checked in with you guys so far?
For us, it's 44 pounds.
44 pounds. Roughly how long would you say a catfish of 44 pounds?
We go by weight. I'm going to tell you he was close to, I'm going to guess he was well over 42, 43 inches. Because when I held him up, I'm only 5'6". He was flopping on the ground. And I'll tell you what, we released, we're very proud. We've had all our catfish here are pretty much caught and released with no issues at all. The DNR's at our tournaments, and they're very glad with how we do it. To watch that fish swim away back in the Ohio River, knowing that was not the biggest fish out there, it was something else. And we've got a group of guys that'll go out and hook into these small 15, 25-pounders on a kayak, and it's a blast. I mean, they tow you all around.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we're just about out of time. We would like to thank Patrick Arneault for being with us. He is from ORCA Outdoors, which is the Ohio River Catfish Association. You can check his website out at orcawv.com. They have two stores, one in New Cumberland, West Virginia, the other one in Lisbon, Ohio. If you'd like to get a hold of him, you can reach him at 304-794-8960. So, Patrick, thank you for being with us here today. And always, guys, remember, for the very latest, be sure to like our BHK Outdoors Facebook, or you can follow us on Twitter. If you have any questions or show ideas for Dan and I, you can email us at radio@bhkoutdoors.com. That is radio@bhkoutdoors.com. Thank you all for being here with us today. Remember, next Saturday morning right here for BHK Outdoors, your beacon for all things outdoors. Thanks to our producer, Mike Henniger. And until then, I'm LT.
And I'm Dan.
And may God bless you. Mike, one of these days I'll pronounce your name correctly.